So we are looking at what? We are looking at task two essay writing today. That's one of the things that you are going to do as part of essay IELTS writing. Okay? You are going to write an essay, and that essay must not be less than 250 words. So what I want to take you through this morning is I want to take you through the steps for writing a good essay. There are 9 steps in all that I'm going to take you through. So we are going to be taking it one by one. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick somebody. I think there was a volunteer I had earlier on. Let me see. Uchechi, are you online? Okay. Uchechi, are you there? Let me know. All right. Okay. So we're going to pick you as we're going to use you as our, what's it called now? Model students for this exercise. I will take you through the process, okay? And you are going to be the one that will be telling me. I'll be asking you questions based on these 9 steps. Can you hear me? Let me hear your voice if you can hear me. Let me know if you are with me. I've unmuted you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So, we are going to be following the 9 steps for writing a good essay. So what I'm going to be using today is we're going to be using, what's it called? We're going to be using an opinion essay as our example. Okay? We're going to be using an opinion essay as our example. Let me post the essay question here. Let me post the essay question here. So here is the essay question. Okay? Can you see the essay question, Richard?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I want you to read it out. Let me be sure you are seeing what I'm saying.
Okay. Some people believe that handwriting is no longer useful in the modern world and should not be taught in school. To what extent do you agree or disagree?
To what extent do you agree or disagree? So this is a word. This is what we call opinion essay. So we have if you guys can recall, we have different types of essays in IELTS writing. We have cause and effect essay. We have cause and solution essay. We have advantage, disadvantage essay. We have opinion essay. We have what else now? Discussion essay.
This
Yes, and then we have double question essay. So our essay question, the first step is what? Understand the essay question. Okay, that is the first thing. You want to understand what is the essay question all about? What are they expecting me to do? So if you look at this thing that I wrote here, I wrote 2 things here, or 3 things. Number one is what? The general theme. So when it comes to IELTS writing, there are about 15 to 17 themes that essay questions can fall under. Let me give you the themes. There are about 15 to 17 of those themes there that essay questions can fall under. Okay. Number one, the most common theme that essay questions can fall under, common essay themes. This thing will come up, this thing will help when we start writing because it's gonna be one of the things we're going to use to demonstrate good vocabulary. So the common themes, number one is what we call health. So let's call it health. Number two is education. Okay. Education, that's another common thing. And essay question can fall under education. For example, this question I want to treat today now, it falls under education. Can you see schools? Whenever you see a question and you are seeing things like school, teacher, student in the essay question, then that essay question falls under the general theme of what? Education. Okay. Then some essay questions can fall under science and technology. Okay, things that have to do with what? Science and technology, technological advancements, technological development. I think there's one essay question I gave to some people sometimes ago about the impact of technological advancements. That some people think that technological advancement has improved the life of workers, and some other people say it has had negative effects on society. Then I said discuss both views and give your opinion. That kind of essay question falls under the theme of what? Science and technology. It falls under the theme of what? Science and technology. Then we have another thing that can show up is what we call environment. Some essay questions fall under environment. Then we can also have another field, another theme called parenting. Parenting, I like to say parenting and family life. Anything that has to do with what happens within the family, okay? Parenting or taking care of children or raising children, it falls under what? Parenting and family life. Then we have transports, okay? Then we have transports. Then we have what's it called now? Arts, culture, and history. This is one of the boring themes that some people don't like seeing because sometimes it's difficult to come up with ideas for this particular what's it called area. But then you can always find a way around it. Let me duplicate this thing. So we have another set. Then we have globalization. Globalization. So let's call this part two. These ones are less common. These themes that I'm putting here, they are not very, very common, but they also show up once in a while. We have globalization and maybe international affairs, anything that has to do with how countries relate. For example, there's one essay question I gave somebody earlier this week about immigration rules, that countries should develop stricter immigration rules, that kind of thing is going to um, help the citizens of different countries to compete for jobs, to be able to secure jobs, let me put it that way, within their own country. That's part of international affairs and immigration. Then we have jobs, career, and unemployment. There are some essay questions on employment. There are some essay questions that address this. We have competitive sports, okay? Sporting events, okay? We have food and agriculture. Agriculture. We have justice, crime and justice. There are some essay questions that have to do with crime and what? Justice, or let's say social justice. Then we have media and social media. Social media. Let's add entertainment to this list. Entertainment, media, and what? And social media. Then we have, let's just put number 7 as what? Personal affairs, or personal life and personal affairs, and philosophical issues. Philosophical issues. So let me just leave it at this. We have 14 items on this list now. Common themes. Essay themes can fall under any of this category. And the reason for being able to figure out these themes is that it helps you to come up with, what's it called? Some theme-specific words, okay? So if I see an essay question that has to do with health, there are some words that should show up in my essay, okay? Words like hospital, words like doctors, words like medications, words like discharged from the hospital, diagnosis, incidence, prevalence of disease. You understand? There are some words that should show up in that kind of essay. We call them theme-specific words. If the essay has to do with science and technology, there are some words that should show up. So whenever you see an essay question, the first thing you want to figure out is, okay, what is the general theme? So that once you know the general theme, your head will start bubbling up with, okay, what are the theme specific words that should show up for this kind of essay? Okay, there's a PDF file I have that I'm going to share with you that contains these essay themes and some theme specific words that you can use in your essay whenever you see an essay question for a particular theme. So for this question now, Uchechi, what is the theme for this essay now? This essay that has to do with what?
Education.
Education. Thank you. This has to do
Education.
with handwriting in schools. So it has to do with what? Education. Okay, education. I'm coming. Let me look for another topic. Let me do another topic and see whether you figure it out. Let me give you another topic. You tell me which topic or which theme. Tell me which theme the essay question falls under. So look at this one now. Look at this essay question. What theme does this essay question fall under? Can you tell me?
Art, culture, and history.
Are you sure? Why? Why do you say art, culture, and
International.
history?
We have tourism.
Uh-huh.
Tourism there. Yeah. So international tourism, you can actually travel. Okay, we have a globalization and international affairs. I think that's the right word.
It falls under globalization and international affairs. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I actually think it for me. I actually think it falls under tourism. Really. Okay, let me see.
Mm,
Look at it. Nowadays, international tourism is the biggest industry in the world. So the first thing I'm saying here is what? International tourism. So tourism stands
international
out for
tourism.
me. Unfortunately, it creates tension rather than understanding between people from different cultures. So when we say different cultures, that means probably maybe people from maybe Africa and Asia, people from
Yeah.
maybe if you want to go intercontinental Africa and Asia, if you want to go across countries, maybe people from Ghana and Nigeria, okay, different cultures.
Yeah.
If you want to stay within your country, okay, people from northern Nigeria and people from southern Nigeria, do you get? So it
Yeah.
can fall under tourism, okay? Then it can fall under, okay, the tourism is tourism on this list? Okay, there's no tourism. Let me see. There should be tourism somewhere on this list. Okay, I did not include it. So it falls under tourism, then it also falls under international affairs. Okay, international affairs, number one here. So that's so you must be able to figure out the general thing. Okay. Now the essay
Okay.
type, that's another thing. So looking at this one now, what is the essay type for this question? What essay type is this? This is
Still opinion essay.
It's an opinion essay. Very good. So essay type talks about you. Are we doing an opinion essay? Is it a cause and effect essay? Or is it what's it called now? Advantage, disadvantage essay? Or is it a discussion essay? Do you get it now? So
Yes,
that's
sir.
another aspect to figure out. Okay, let me post one more question, then we'll move to step number two. So look at this question, Uchechi. What kind of question is this? What kind of essay question is this?
That- It falls under, sorry, sir, hang on. Competitive sports.
Okay, that is the general theme. It falls under sports, competitive sports. To be successful at sports, yes, you need natural ability. Another thing hard work and practice can make you successful. Very good. Competitive sport. We can put it on a competitive sport. So, what type of essay is this? What type of essay is this?
Discussion.
Discussion essay. Thank you. Discuss both views and give your opinion.
Opinion.
Discuss both views and give your opinion. So let's go back to our steps. Step one, general theme, essay type, and then the specific issue. So when we say specific issue means, okay, what exactly do they want me to do? What exactly do they want me to address? So this question says, discuss both views. What are the two views? Whenever you see a discussion essay and they say discuss both views, you need to ask yourself, what are the two views? So from this question, Uchechi, what is viewpoint number one? Can you tell me what
We
viewpoint,
have one. Yes.
what's
You need a
viewpoint?
natural ability. to be successful in sports, I also need to be
Okay,
hardworking and practice.
so viewpoint one is that what? To be successful in sports,
Yes,
you need natural ability. That's viewpoint one.
ability.
Then what is
Yeah.
viewpoint two? You need to what?
Hard, work hard and practice.
You need
Hard
to
work and practice.
hard work and practice. Thank you very much. Those are the two viewpoints that you need to discuss. Okay. And then the last part of the question says, give your opinion. Give your opinion. Let's look at the previous questions that we've checked, that we posted earlier on. Look at this one now. So this one is a what? Is an opinion essay. So what is the issue here? The thing says, to what extent do you agree? So the issue here is what? Okay, international tourism creates tension rather than what? Understanding between
Understanding.
people from what? Different cultures.
Different culture.
So that is the main issue. So look at it. Let me show you that slide again. What is the specific issue? So the specific issue here is that what? International tourism creates what? Tension and misunderstanding between people from different cultures. So they are asking you, do you agree that international tourism creates tension between people from different cultures? If you say, yes, I agree, then your essay should focus on, okay, how does it create tension? Do you think, why are you saying it creates tension? Why? What are the things that you have what? Observed? What are the things that you have heard that makes you say that, yes, so this thing creates tension? If you say it doesn't create tension, then you need to tell us, okay, what are the things that you have observed that makes you think that what? It is not creating tension anywhere. Okay, so you need to know what is the specific issue to address and make sure your essay focuses on that. So you must understand the essay question. It's extremely important. So let's see, which one should we pick out of all these essays I've posted now? Should we pick this one about, what's it called now? About international tourism, or the one on education? There's another one I posted on education earlier yeah, handwriting. Or we should do the one on, which one should we do, Uchechi? Pick one.
I think we should do the one on tourism.
The one on tourism. Okay, let me go back to
Yes.
tourism. This is tourism, yeah. All right, let's do the one on tourism. Okay, so this is our essay question here. Nowadays, international tourism is the biggest industry in the world. Unfortunately, it creates tension rather than understanding between people from different cultures. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Now, so we have analyzed the question. We know the general theme, tourism. We know the essay type. It's a what? It's a discussion essay. And then we know the specific issue. Specific issue is that what? Does this thing create tension or does it not create tension? Do you get? Now, next point is what? Next step is to what? Generate ideas. So when we say generate ideas, what we are saying is that what? You need to think about issues that you can write on. You need to come up with 4 to 5 things. And I've put some points here. I call this 4 P's. This 4 P's will be very, very easy to remember. 4 P's: pleasure, pain, pressure, profits. Okay, those 4 P's, you can use them to generate your ideas. And then government, businesses, family, environment, you can also use those to generate ideas. So let's go back to the question now, and then we'll now bring it. Let me delete these items, yeah? So we want to generate ideas. Step 2 is what? Generating ideas. So what are the ideas? Number 1 is what? Let's think of the 4 P's first: pleasure, pain, pressure, and profit. So looking at this question, this is the core issue here. International tourism creates what? Tension. So you look at your essay question and you ask yourself, what is the main thing here? So my issue now is what? Okay, does it create tension? So I can either look at it from the angle of, yes, it creates tension. If it's an opinion essay, I can either look at it from the angle of, yes, it creates tension, or I can look at it from the angle of, no, it doesn't create tension. So which one do you want to pick out of the two? Yes, it creates. No, it doesn't. Which one do you want to pick?
Yes, it creates tension.
Yes, it creates tension. All right. So if you are saying it creates tension, that means that what? You need to come up with about maybe 4 or 5 reasons why you think it creates tension. So in coming up with the 4 or 5 reasons, pain, pleasure, pleasure, profit, pressure. Let's look at these 4 things. Okay. How does it create tension? So looking at it from the angle of the easiest one is always profit. Profit has to do with money. Okay. So
Yes,
international tourism can create tension between what? People because of what? Income generation. It can affect
yes,
people's income, right?
yeah,
Yes. So we can talk in terms of what? It can affect
mm,
income of what? Businesses
businesses.
negatively. Okay, can affect income of businesses negatively because if you are saying it creates tension, that's a negative thing. Misunderstand, that's a negative thing. So it can affect
Yeah,
income of businesses or maybe individuals or
finance.
or even government individuals or even government negatively. Can you see that stuff I wrote earlier on about? Look at it. Government,
Government
businesses,
business.
family, environment. Can you see that is already coming up now? So this is
Okay.
the first thing I can talk about. Okay. Now, the second thing I can talk about is that what? It puts unnecessary pressure. When we
Sure.
say pressure on we'll talk about maybe the impact that something has. So international tourism can put pressure on environmental resources. So you see that here on this list, we have environment also. So the idea of these 4 things, 4 P's okay, pleasure. How does pleasure connect to government, businesses, family, environment? How does pain connect to government, businesses, family, environment? How does pressure connect to business, government, family, environment? Under pressure, we have things like, okay, peer pressure. We have things like family pressure. Okay, we have things like economic pressure. Do you understand? We have things like environmental pressure, pressure on the environment. So when we say environmental pressure, we're saying, okay, maybe um, a particular park, a particular garden is supposed to accommodate maybe 200 people, but then you now have maybe 1,000 people there. That's going to put
Yeah.
unnecessary pressure on that particular garden. They may end up damaging lots of resources. Okay, so pressure on
Okay.
environmental resources. Another aspect of pressure is look at this issue of pollution now. Pollution. You have people using plastics and disposing plastics anyhow, indiscriminately all over the streets. And then what happens? The plastics get to end up in
Little.
rivers and streams, and that will affect the what? Aquatic organisms. That creates pressure that affects the what? The animals, the fishes, and all the other organisms that live in the water. So that's what? Pressure on what? Environmental resources. So I can look at it from the angle of what? Another reason I can probably bring up is what? The issue of what? Pressure on what? Environmental resources. Okay. Then what else can we look at? Look at it again. Pain. Pain basically means what? Somebody is doing something that is causing another person pain. That's the meaning of pain. So I can look at my essay
Okay.
question and say, okay, can pain fit into this thing? So tell me, can it?
It can.
How?
Due to the environmental air pollution and all that, people can be affected negatively
Okay.
from using and like drinking from water that have been contaminated from these products.
Okay. So that can result in what? What's it called now? It can result in, you can also put the issue of pollution.
Pollution.
Yeah, that's what I'm picking from what you are saying. Okay. Pollution. But there's something else I'm even thinking about. So when we talk about pain, we can also look at it from the angle of when people interact. So people from different cultures, when they interact, one of the problems that will show up is the problem of communication.
Yeah.
Do you get my point now? Communication.
Yes,
So,
sir.
because of the differences in cultural beliefs, differences in cultural values and practices, language barrier, okay, there may be communication problem. So, language barrier results in what? In some communication problem. And this can lead to what? Conflict. Okay? That's another thing that you can look at. That's another angle you can look at it from. And then if there's conflict, that can cause pain on some people, can cause pain for
Yeah.
some people. Do you get my analysis?
Yes, sir.
So 4 things that we have written already here, 4 points here, can still come up with maybe one more point. It's not like we're going to write our essay. It's not like our essay will address all these things. So, but you see, this process of generating ideas helps you to write a qualitative essay. It goes a long way in helping you to write a quality. So these are things that you practice doing. There's one thing I usually tell people to do when they say they have problems generating ideas. I say you need to get that compilation of essay questions, and practice generating ideas, just like we are doing now. What this step 2 that we are going through now is what I call idea generation drill. So you just come look at the question and then come up with 4 to 5 ideas. Okay, 4 to 5 points that you can write on. Do you understand? We call it idea generation drill. So pain, profit, pleasure, pressure. Then
Sure.
what else now? Family, government,
Family plan.
businesses, and what? Environment. By the time you
Environment.
apply your essay questions to these things, you'll be able to come up with 1 or 2, 4 to 5 points that you can write on. So again, the question says what? International tourism is the biggest industry in the world. Unfortunately, it creates tension rather than understanding between people from different cultures. So it creates tension. So we are saying that what our view is that yes, it creates tension. Now we have come up with 4 ideas here. Number one, how does it create tension? Because it affects the income of businesses or individuals or governments. In other words, negatively means what? It reduces their income. Then number 2 is what? Pressure on environmental resources. Okay. And then number 3 is what? Pollution. Number 4 is what? Language barrier. And then we can also look at another thing here. Another thing that is coming to my mind when it comes to creating tension is what? Disregard for traditional, disregard for what? Traditional um, beliefs and sacred sites. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yes, sir.
That means, for example, well, maybe there's a particular site that maybe people in a country where they worship, where they do some traditional rites. But then when the tourists come there, they now start doing all sorts of things. That can cause what? That can cause conflict. That can cause conflict. So that's another thing that we can also look at. Okay. So like I said, it's not like we're going to write on everything. Just pick 2 or 3 of them. So let's go back to our list now. So step 1 is what? Understand the essay question. We've done that. Step 2 is what? Generate ideas.
Ideas.
Generate ideas. Now, what is step 3? Step 3 is to plan. Step 3 and 4 is to plan your paragraphs. Okay? Step 3 and 4. Step
Yes,
3
sir.
is to plan paragraph 2. And step 4 is to plan what? Paragraph 3. So the question is this: what will be the main points of paragraph 2? And then what will be the main point of what? Paragraph 3. Okay? Then will you add an extra point? So if I say main point, that means you are picking 1 point. Now you cannot decide to add 1 extra point. Or you can just say you want to focus on that one main point. For paragraph 3 too, the same thing. Okay? Now, usually, if you are doing a cause and effect essay where they will ask you, what are the causes of this problem? It's always good to add an extra point. Don't just mention one cause. It's always good to add an extra cause, maybe 2 or 3 causes of a problem. Same thing with solution. It's always good to make it what? 2 or 3 solutions. But when it comes to opinion essay, you can decide to just present 1 point in paragraph 2, and then in paragraph 3, you present 1 point. So let's look at our list now. So let's look at these 5 points. We have 5 points already now. Let's pick
Yeah.
which 2 points, which 1 point, which point are we going to present? Do you want to present in paragraph, what's it called? Paragraph 2. Which one of these 5 points, which would you like to present in
I
paragraph?
think we should go with the one of income and language barrier.
Income. Hold on, no, I don't understand though.
It can affect income of businesses.
That should be in paragraph 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this one will be paragraph 2. Let me paste it here. Paragraph 2. Income of businesses. Then paragraph 3. What did you pick for paragraph 3?
Language.
All right, so paragraph 2, income. Then paragraph 3, we are picking, let me go back to that slide. Which one are we picking for paragraph 3? Language and what? You said language, right?
Language. Yes, sir.
This language issue.
Language barrier.
So we use this as our number 3. Okay, so step 3 is what? Plan paragraph 2. So what would be my main points in paragraph 2? So in paragraph 2, I want to explain that, okay, yes. So this is it. This is look at the way I want to write this thing. Oh. Yes, it creates tension because it what?
Affect.
Affects the what? Income of businesses or individuals or government negatively. So when I start writing my essay, I'm going to pick one of these 3. I will not write all these 3 things. Oh. I will just pick one.
Okay.
I can pick businesses first, write 2 sentences on it. I can decide to write about individuals too in another, what's it called, point, and then write about government. Do you get my point now?
Yes, sir.
That's the approach. So to expand the paragraph. But my main point is what? This issue of what? Affecting income. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, for paragraph 3, how will I write it? Yes, it creates tension because of the language barrier. Because of the language barrier that results in what? Communication problem and what? And
Okay.
conflicts. Okay? Between what? Between what and what? Let me see whether I can figure that. Between who and who? Can you tell me?
Between two cultures.
Okay, well, that's correct, but then that's not the first thing. Usually between tourists
Service. Okay.
and the what? Members of the host community. Do you understand? So maybe tourists
Okay.
go to a particular area in Enugu State and they do some things that people in that area don't like. There can be
Yeah.
conflict. And then if the conflict is not managed well, it can now, escalate into a conflict between Nigeria and the country where those tourists came from. Do you get the point now? But the focus here is
Yes,
what?
sir.
The first thing that we need to deal with is this issue of what? Okay, between the tourists and members of the what? Host communities. So
Community.
you see this thing here. This is a word, this is a team-specific word, host community. All right. So we have drafted, we have our idea of what will be in paragraph 2 and what will be in paragraph 3. Now, what is step 5? Which one you want is step 5?
Step 5. Write the introduction.
Write the introduction. So you see that we first of all planned our essay and we gave ourselves an idea of what to put in paragraph 2 and paragraph 3 before starting the essay. Okay? When we say
Yes,
start
sir.
the essay, what we are saying is what? Start paragraph 1, write paragraph 1. So let's look at paragraph 1 now. So what do we do in paragraph 1? In paragraph 1, we do two things. We paraphrase the question prompt and we write our what?
Thesis.
Thank you very much. We write our thesis. So if you look at, where is that slide now? Look at it here. Start with a clear, sorry, paraphrase the question prompt in how many sentences? 1 or 2 sentences. After paraphrasing the question prompt, write a clear thesis in 1 or 2 sentences. That's what makes a good introduction. So let's do that now. So this is so I'm going to post the essay question here. So you see this exercise I'm doing. This thing is very easy to do with a computer. You see the way I'm copying and pasting and transferring, and I mean, it makes things easy compared to if I'm writing on paper. That's one of the reasons why I prefer computer-based over paper-based. Now, so this is my essay question. I want to paraphrase it now. So look at it. Nowadays, what paraphrase can we use for nowadays? We can easily paraphrase that one. There are
In
different
recent
words
time.
we'll use. You say what?
In recent time.
In recent times. In recent times. We can use that as a paraphrase for nowadays. We can also use
Okay.
these days. Okay? I don't know. Sometimes I don't like using in recent times because sometimes the sentence turns out to be awkward. It happens
Okay.
some. So I prefer to use these days most of the time. These days. These days. Or I can say, another thing I can do is what? In many parts of the world today. That's another thing I can do. Okay. So if I want to use in recent times, this is how I'm going to put it to make sure that the sentence is grammatically accurate. In recent times, international tourism has become the biggest, or let's not use biggest. Let's paraphrase biggest. It has become the most influential industry in the world. Okay? In recent times, what? International tourism has become what? The most influential industry in the world. So this thing here, HAS, should show up anytime you use this thing in recent times. Those two always come together. You understand? Sometimes it's easy to bring them together. Sometimes it's actually not easy. So that's why I don't usually use in recent times. But if I use these days I can easily, this is very straightforward. These days, international tourism is the what? Largest sector globally. That's another way to paraphrase. These days, international tourism, I can as well say international tourism is the biggest industry in the world. Okay? So I am using a paraphrasing style that involves just changing words. There are 3 ways to paraphrase. 3 ways to paraphrase. 3 ways to paraphrase. Number 1 is what? Change some words. Number 2 is what? Rearrange. I've not done any rearrangements in what I've written so far. Rearrange the words. And number 3 is what? Introduce new words that are what? Relevant. The words must be relevant.
Okay.
Okay? So let me use this. Let me try number 2. Okay? Let me try number 2. International tourism has become a big industry that affects economic activities. Can you see I've added something else? I've done number 3 now. That affects economic activities in what? Can you help me finish it, Uchechi?
Okay. International have become the big industry that affects economic activities around the world.
Thank you very much. Round the world today. So let's add that last part. Today. That affects economic activities around the world today. Around the world today. Or we can say in many parts of the world today. So you see paraphrasing. Is it that we change some words and rearrange the words, or we can change some words and introduce new words that are relevant, or we can rearrange and introduce new words, or we can do all the three. So I think I've
Okay.
done all the three here. Okay. Instead of saying, what's it called now? Nowadays,
Nowadays.
I wrote today. So I've changed something. And then I also rearranged. Instead of putting today at the beginning of the sentence, I put today at the end. Okay. And then I also introduced some new words that are relevant. So when I say relevant, I said what affects economic activities. That's like it's still the same context, the same concept of the essay question is what we are still presenting here by saying affects economic activities. So we have paraphrased sentence 1. Now we have sentence 2, so let's just continue with this second one. So these other ones that we do, let's just leave them. Let's reduce the size. So this one is what we are going to be using. International tourism has become a big industry that affects economic activities around the world today. Okay, so next sentence. Let's paraphrase the next sentence. Again, we'll follow this, what's it called? Three. You can do any of these three, any two of these three things, or we can do all the three. So the next sentence is, unfortunately, it creates tension rather than understanding between peoples from different cultures. Okay? So how do we paraphrase that? Uchechi, can you give me a paraphrase for that?
Okay. Hmm. Let me
You don't have
try.
to paraphrase everything.
Nevertheless,
Don't be scared. Just try and okay. If you cannot paraphrase the first one, look at the second one, look at the third one, you understand? So what you were saying something.
nevertheless, instead of unfortunately,
Okay. Nevertheless,
it creates rifts instead of tension.
it creates what?
Rifts,
It,
R-I-F-T-S.
it creates rifts. Okay.
Between two different countries rather than understanding.
It creates rifts between two different
Con-
countries
countries,
rather than what? Understanding.
understanding.
Okay, very good. That's a good one. I'm coming. Let's do some um corrections. Let's do some adjustments. So, international tourism has become a big industry that affects economic activities around the world today. Nevertheless, it creates, so we can change this thing here and put it as what? Results in rifts. Okay? It results in what? In rifts between, so you have removed people. This people is a very important word. Okay, if you are going to remove a word from the essay question, I mean, it should not be a very important word. Okay, so for me, I
Okay,
think people is important, even though countries sounds like, okay, it's replacing people, but I feel people should still show up somehow. Do you get my point now? People is always important.
okay,
Any question, any essay question I write. So it results in rifts between individuals, individuals from different words,
Different countries.
From different, let's not put two. Let's just say
Yeah.
different, okay? It results in rift between individuals from different countries. Or, okay, let's leave countries alone. So cultures, countries, or we can say from different um, cultural backgrounds. Nevertheless, it results in rifts between individuals from different cultural backgrounds. Do you get my point? Results in
Yes, sir.
rifts between individuals from different cultural backgrounds. Now, rather than understanding, so this thing here, we can, let's transfer it to the beginning. Okay? Let's transfer it to the beginning and
Okay.
say that, okay, nevertheless, rather than promoting peaceful coexistence and what? Understanding globally. Can you see what I've done now?
Yes.
This part I highlighted now is a paraphrase for what? This small part, three
Yes.
words. Three words in the essay question prompt has increased to what? Has increased to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Mhm.
7, 8. 8 words. Can you see paraphrasing? That shows that I added new words. So nevertheless, rather than promote, okay, so this one should be promote. Rather than promote, that's parallelism. Rather than promote peaceful coexistence and understanding globally, it results in what? Rifts between individuals from different cultural backgrounds. Full stop.
Mhm.
Can you see what we are doing now?
Yes, sir.
So we have finished paraphrasing our question prompt. The next thing to do now is to what? Is to do our thesis statement. Okay? So for our opinion essay, what is our opinion here now? Our opinion is that what? Yes, I agree, right?
Yes, sir.
From our analysis so far. So I fully agree to this view, and this essay will present my reasons in detail. Full stop. That's my introduction. Do you get the gist to church?
Yes, sir.
You see the way I've followed the steps. Okay. So we said what? Write the introduction. Paraphrase the question prompt in one or two sentences. So this is sentence one. Okay. This is sentence two. And then a clear thesis. Write a clear
Mm.
thesis in one or two sentences. So my thesis is a one sentence thesis. So for an opinion essay, you must clearly state your opinion. Some people will say that my essay will present my opinion. No, in that your introduction, you should clearly state that opinion. Don't say that your essay will state your opinion. Tell us that opinion in paragraph one. Okay? So our opinion here is that what? Yes, this thing is true. Okay, so I fully agree to this view. So the question says, to what extent do you agree? To what extent? So I fully agree. I fully agree to this view, and this essay will present my reason in detail. So this is our paragraph one. So let me just put this in a kind of color here so that I'm going to come back and I'm going to copy it. So next step is to write paragraph two. Are you there? Are you still with me, Uchechi?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Let
sir.
me let me know. Let's see whether people are still with us. You guys, are you still with me? Let me know if you are with me. I want to know who is still following. If you are following, let me see your message in the Zoom chat. I want you to drop a message in the Zoom chat. Let me see who is following. Please, if you have any question, let's know. Please just drop your question. Okay, just drop your question in the Zoom chat if you have any question, or if you have something that you want to add, or you feel, okay, can we add this? Can we add this? Just post it, and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to respond. All right, thank you very much. I can see some feedbacks there. All right. So next duty is to write paragraph 2. So let's go back to our plan for paragraph 2. This is our plan for paragraph 2 here. Okay. So we want to build up this paragraph 2 now. So I'll just copy this paragraph 2 and I'll come and paste it somewhere. Let's create another slide here. So let's paste that our idea for paragraph 2. So remember what we said about paragraph 2, our body paragraph. Look at it. Start with a clear topic sentence. Okay? What is a topic sentence? A topic sentence is a sentence that presents the main idea of a paragraph. Okay? A topic sentence is a word, a sentence that presents the main idea of a paragraph. So for this paragraph now, our main idea is that words, it creates tension because it affects the income of businesses and individuals. So how do I present this main idea? I will start by saying that word. Firstly, international tourism results, or let's say, um, creates tension because it reduces the income generated by many local businesses. Okay, it reduces the what? It reduces the income generated by what? Many local businesses in different parts of the world. Can you see that my first sentence, Uchechi?
Yes, sir.
That's our what? That's what we call topic sentence. So when the examiner reads this, the examiner knows that, okay, oh, this person wants to talk about reducing income, the issue of international tourism reducing income. Now, let's look at something very important here that we should even have talked about since the beginning. This issue of international tourism, what does it mean? Can you tell me what it means? What do you think it means? What's the meaning of international tourism?
Exploring.
Exploring. What do you mean exploring? Like exploring where?
We travel around sightseeing.
Who is the person traveling?
The tourist.
Where is
The
the
people
tourist
of a
coming from? Where is
particular
the tourist
country.
going to? Where is the tourist coming from? Where is it going to?
It's going to a different country, the
Okay.
host country.
Okay. So international tourism basically means what? Somebody is traveling out of his country to another country to explore that country. That's what you are saying. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Very correct. I think I agree with you on that. But just to be sure, let us do a quick Google search and be sure of our answer there. Let me share my screen so that you guys will see what I'm searching on the internet. Somebody says, are we allowed to do this? Yes, you are allowed. Whenever, as part of your preparation, you are allowed to do research like this. The only thing that you should not do is to go and be copying essay on the internet and submitting them for me to access. That's wrong. But you can do some light research like this. Okay, what is international tourism? Okay, what is what? What is international tourism? So let's just type that and see what it's going to bring out. Look at it here. International tourism is travel that crosses national borders, involving people visiting a country other than their own. Can you see that's what we just said now? Somebody
Yes.
leaves his own country and goes to another country. Now they are adding something else that we did not really mention for purposes like
Leisure.
pleasure, one, business, two, and what? Other reasons.
Um,
I think the one we mentioned is what? To explore. To explore. So I think our definition is correct. So let's go back to our essay. Let's go back to our essay and continue with our paragraph 2. So paragraph 2 here, we have started with what? Firstly, international tourism creates tension because, you see this sentence I wrote here, I call it, there are some formulas that I use to construct sentences. One of the formulas that I use is what I call the because formula. In other words, I say something at the beginning of the sentence, and then I now use the because, the word because, to connect a reason. Okay, so firstly, international tourism creates tension because it reduces the income generated by many local businesses in different parts of the world. Now, next duty is to explain. Where is it now? Write a clear topic sentence. I've done that. Number 2 is what? Write 1 or 2 sentences to explain. So if I want to explain this, what I'm going to be explaining is what? How does it reduce income generated? Explain. Describe how. Okay, so that's going to be my next sentence. That's going to be my next sentence. So I'm going to say that word. When people travel abroad, or let's say when people travel overseas to explore, have I used the word explore? No, I've not used it. I think we mentioned it when we were defining international tourism. When people travel abroad to
Yes, sir.
explore another country, they end up spending lots of money in that country. And this will reduce the funds that they should have spent patronizing small businesses in their own country.
Okay.
Do you get my point here?
Yes, sir.
So I've explained that what? Okay, this is how this thing affects the income generated by what? Local businesses. Okay, so me, I want to do international tourism now. I decide to travel to maybe Colombia or Brazil. If I'm going to Brazil as a tourist, I need to carry a lot of money with me. That money should have been spent in Nigeria, which is my home country. But then, because I'm traveling, I end up spending the money there. If 1 million people should do that, if 1 million Nigerians should do that, it's going to affect a lot of businesses. And that's the idea here. Okay. So when people travel overseas to explore another country, they spend lots of money in that country. And this will reduce the funds that should have been, that should, look at it, that they should have, okay, that they should have spent patronizing small businesses in their own country. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
you get the gist. So I've presented
Yes, sir.
my first, where is it now? Topic sentence, presented my first point, and then I've explained. Now we can give a relevant example. So when it comes to giving example, we can either talk about, let me give the idea of example. Let me write out the idea of example. In giving examples, there are three, I think 2 or 3 possibilities. Number 1, quote a news report or newspaper article. Number 2, quote a research, or let's say, let me not use the word quote, make reference to a news report or a newspaper article, make reference to a research study. And number 3 is to what? Write about an event that happened in a country or a city. Okay? Don't write about something that happened to one person. That's not a good example. Okay? One person, writing about something that happened to one person is not a strong example to use to buttress a point in IELTS essay. That, if you want to use an example, it must be an example that affected a lot of people. Okay, so when we say a lot of people now, a lot of people can refer to a lot of people living in a city, a lot of people living in a country, or a lot of people involved in a research study. And then usually, if it's a news report, or a newspaper article, then a lot of people must have seen that newspaper article or that news report. Okay, so let's see what example can we now. Somebody says, does the example have to be real? No, it doesn't have to be real. It's not compulsory. It doesn't need to be real. Like in this case now, we need to come up with a fictitious situation to buttress our point that yes, this thing happens. Okay, so let's look at it again and then we'll finish up this paragraph too. So firstly, international tourism creates tension because it reduces the income generated by many local businesses in different parts of the world. Full stop. Next sentence. When people travel overseas to explore another country, this end they there's a mistake here.
The
They
end of.
end up, I think that's what I wanted to add. They end up
Oh,
spending lots of money. Yeah, that's what it should be. They end up spending lots of money in that country. And this will reduce the funds that they should have spent patronizing small businesses in their own country. Can you see that?
yes, sir.
Now, for example, a recent study showed that many newly wedded, sorry, let me put it this way. Many aspiring couples travel to countries like, what's the name of this country where people go for honeymoon now? Give me one
South
country.
Africa.
South
South
Africa.
Africa.
South Africa for their honeymoon. And as a result, let's cut this sentence. As a result, let's put in a country here. Many aspiring couples in Nigeria, let's change it to new couples. Many newly wedded couples in Nigeria travel to countries like South Africa for their honeymoon. As a result, what's it called now? Vacation sites and tourist attraction centers in Nigeria have been reporting what? Low
Patronage.
revenue, thank you, low patronage and revenue. Can you see example? Okay, so we have finished with this, we can put an end to paragraph 1 and say that yes, we have presented the issue of what? This problem of international tourism affecting, reducing the income of small businesses. Okay, so paragraph 1 is done. Now, paragraph 2, the instruction says same thing with paragraph 2. Paragraph 3. Next one is paragraph 3. Start with a clear topic sentence that presents the main point of paragraph 3 and write 1 or 2 sentences to explain. So let's go back to our plan. Paragraph 3. Where's paragraph 3? Okay, see paragraph 3 here. So paragraph 3, let's create a new paragraph 4. So this is paragraph 3 that I want to do now. Yes, it creates tension because of the language barrier. So can you tell me how to start this one? So the last one that we did when we started, we said firstly. So how should we start this second one? This paragraph 3, second main body paragraph.
Secondly,
Secondly, thank you. Okay, go ahead, I'm listening.
um, complete it, please.
It's easy now. See what you want to write here on the screen now. Secondly, okay. So the idea that we gave here is that what it creates tension because of what?
Okay.
Language barrier. So the main issue here is what? Language barrier. Okay. Secondly, when people travel to other countries where they speak languages that they are not familiar with, communication problems can what? Arise between these tourists and their what? And their, what's it called now?
Visitors.
And their what?
Okay. Their
Their
host nation, the
hosts.
host country.
And their hosts. Okay? And their hosts. So, what's it called? Communication problems can result between, what's it called now? Between these tourists and their hosts. Okay? In some cases, it may even result in conflict if any of the two parties use abusive or offensive words unintentionally. Okay? So, language issue. It creates tension because of the word of the language barrier. And this language barrier results in what? Communication problems and conflict between tourists and the members of the host community. Okay? Second, so that's our paragraph what? Paragraph 3. Secondly, when people travel to other countries where they speak languages that are not, where they speak languages that they are not familiar with. So let me make some corrections here. This is what we call unclear pronoun. So you see this THEY here now. We are not really sure what it's referring to. This is another THEY here. We are not really sure what it's referring to. So we need to adjust that sentence. So this thing I'm doing here, let me show you what I'm doing here. As I'm writing, I am reading my sentences and making corrections. Look at it. That's step 9. This step 9 usually should be done as you are writing. Some people wait till the end before they do that, but that's not good. It's always good to do it as you are writing. So you write one sentence, try and proofread and be sure there is no issue. Write another sentence, try and proofread and be sure there is no issue. So look at it. Read closely and correct spelling errors, tense errors, singular plural errors. You get? Read each sentence and ensure that it makes sense to you grammatically. If not, edit it. Now, that's what I want to do here now. This one is looking somehow. Secondly, when people travel to other countries where so this day, I'm actually talking about people in that other country or those other countries. So I need to make it clear. So I'm going to make adjustments here where, let me see, how do I put this now? When people travel to other countries where
English.
No, you're
Or
assuming
do
that
they use native language?
everybody speaks English. Where, let's put it this way, where unfamiliar languages, are spoken, where, let's just put it that way. When people travel to other countries where, so you see that I've removed THEY throughout. So when I travel to a country where an unfamiliar language is spoken, that looks better. So secondly, when people travel, so secondly, when people travel to other countries where unfamiliar languages are spoken, communication problems can arise between these tourists and their hosts. Okay?
Okay.
In some cases, it may even result in conflict if any of the two parties use abusive or offensive words unintentionally. Okay? Let's give an example now. So, what's it called now? Okay, let's even explain further. So this is what I want to do now is I want to explain further how communication problems can result. So it's going to be a combination of example and explanation. For instance, if an individual wants to purchase an item but is unable to communicate with the buyer in a way that they understand, in a language that they understand, they may feel cheated about the amount of money that is paid for the what? Item. About the amount of money that is what? That is paid for the what? For the item. So if I'm not able to understand somebody's language and they tell me, okay, this is the amount, and I'm trying to figure out, why is it that expensive? Are you sure? Are you not trying to cheat me? That's what I'm trying to describe here. You get my point?
Yes, sir.
For instance, if an individual wants to purchase an item, so let's say, let's remove this word an individual and change it to what? A tourist. Do you get? If a
Okay.
tourist wants to purchase an item but is unable to communicate with the buyer in a language that they understand, they may feel cheated about the amount of money that they pay or the amount of money that is paid for the what? For the item. Okay? This may result in misunderstanding between the tourists and the what? Seller. So that's that for my what? Explanation. Unfamiliar languages, language barrier causing rifts, causing conflicts. Okay? And then we give another sentence to what? If abusive words are used, and then if at all, and I'll give some kind of explanation plus what now? Plus
Mhm.
illustration. This may result in misunderstanding between the tourists and the seller. So I've done my paragraph 2. Now, what is the last part now? The last part is our conclusion. In one sentence or two, in one or two sentences, summarize the main points presented in paragraphs 2 and 3. So we need to write our conclusion now. So Um, in conclusion, international tourism though popular, international tourism has become widespread, but its impact has been what? Largely negative. But its impact has been largely what? Negative. Some local businesses have lost lots of revenue because they were not patronized by their fellow citizens who chose to travel abroad on holiday. Also, it has resulted in communication problems between what? Communication problems between tourists and what? And
The
people
host.
that they interact with at the what's it called now? Tourist sites, at the tour sites. So I think that's all for my conclusion. In conclusion, let me read it again. International tourism has become widespread, but its impact has been largely negative. That's sentence one. Some local businesses have lost lots of revenue because they were not patronized by their fellow citizens who chose to travel abroad on holiday. Also, it has resulted in communication problems between what? Tourists and people that they interact with at the tour sites. So let me check, let me bring everything together now. So this is our conclusion. I'm going to copy this paragraph 3, add it to the conclusion, add it to the conclusion. Okay. Then paragraph 2. This is our paragraph 2 here. Add it to the paragraph 2, paragraph 3, and paragraph 4. Then our introduction. Add it to the whole thing. So here we are. This is our essay now.
Oh.
Uchechi, what does it look like?
Yes, sir.
Does it look like a nice essay?
Yes.
So you see the process I've taken you through. It's 9-step
Yes, sir.
process. So the final step now is to what? Is now read closely and be sure that, okay, everything is intact. The spellings are accurate, the tenses are accurate. Now, let me say something about tenses here. If you look at the essay question, let's look at the essay question and check out let's be sure of the tense that the essay question requires of us. Okay, somebody is asking a question here. Somebody said, can you use your 2 points in paragraph 2 and 3 to conclude your essay. Yes, you can. That's what I did now. You can, your 2 points, the point I presented in paragraph 2 and the point I presented in paragraph 3, that's what I wrote in my conclusion. If you look at the conclusion, that's what I wrote in the conclusion. Look at the conclusion here. What's it called? Lost lots of revenue, reduction in revenue. That's what we wrote in paragraph 2. If you look at paragraph 2, they end up spending lots of money in that country that they are going to. And this will reduce funds that they should have spent patronizing small businesses in their own country. So you see, it's the same thing, but it's just that I changed some words. I paraphrased. It's still the same thing I wrote. Do you get the point now? So, in fact, that's what you should do. The point that you presented in paragraph 2 and paragraph 3 is what you should use to write your conclusion. But you should do some paraphrasing so that you don't repeat some words unnecessarily. They don't want you to do unnecessary repetition. So let's look at the essay question again. Look at it. Nowadays, international tourism is. So when you say is, that's what? Present simple tense. Okay? Something that is happening currently. Okay? Now, international tourism is the biggest industry in the world. Unfortunately, it creates, can you see present simple tense again? It creates tension. So in writing our essay, we must maintain that present simple tense throughout. So let's go to our essay now and read through it and be sure that our tenses are accurate. Now look at it now. In sentence paragraph 1, international tourism has become, now look, this is a kind of has. When I say has, that's what? That's present perfect tense. Okay? Ideally, if I
Yes,
want
sir.
to follow the tense used in the question prompt, okay, I should change this to what? High S. International tourism is a big industry that affects, this is correct. Are you following me, Uchechi? Are you getting what I'm doing here?
Yes, sir.
You see the
Yes,
way
sir.
I'm checking my tenses to be sure that um, my tenses are consistent. Let me put it that way. Tense consistency. Present simple tense throughout the bulk of our essay, if not throughout everything. 80% to 90% should reflect that present simple tense. So you see, I've changed something now. International tourism is a big industry that affects is a present simple tense word, economic activities around the world today. Nevertheless, rather than promote peaceful coexistence and understanding globally, it results in, can you see? It's still the same tense,
Yes,
present simple tense. In rifts, I think this word should be S because
yes.
not one rift, is many. It's
Not
happening
just
in
one.
many
Yeah.
places. So you see, correction. It results in rifts between individuals from different cultural backgrounds. I fully agree to this view, and this essay will present my reasons in detail. Paragraph 2 now. Firstly, international tourism creates, can you see, correct tenses, creates tension because it reduces the income generated by many local businesses in different parts of the world. So this thing here, I feel I should remove. Firstly, international tourism, let's delete this part because it's like unnecessary repetition of what is in the essay introduction.
Yes.
So let's just say international tourism reduces the income generated by many local businesses in different parts of the world. Now, explanation. When people travel overseas to explore another country, they end up spending lots of money in that country. And this will reduce the funds that they should have spent patronizing small businesses in their own country. For example, a recent study, now this example here is referring to something that happened in the past. Do you get it? So you see my tense.
Yes.
A recent study showed that many newly wedded couples in Nigeria travel to countries like what? South Africa for their honeymoon. As a result, vacation sites and tourist attraction centers in Nigeria have been, can you see, have been, remember what I said about recent earlier on? That whenever you
Yes.
use recent, somehow you must connect have been present perfect tense into that, what's it called, sentence, or maybe a sentence that fills up after it. So many vacation sites have been reporting low patronage and revenue. That's paragraph 2. I think that's my correction. I've done correction for that. Paragraph 3 now. Secondly, when people travel to other countries where unfamiliar languages are spoken, communication problems can arise between these tourists and their hosts. In some cases, it may even result in conflict if any of the two parties use abusive or offensive words unintentionally. For instance, if a tourist wants to purchase an item but is unable to communicate with the buyer in a language that they understand, they may feel cheated. Okay, so I want to do something here. There's something I usually like to emphasize. Whenever you give whenever you give an example, your example must be connected to the points in the sentence that you wrote before that example. So this is my example here for this paragraph too. It looks like an example plus explanation. Now look at the sentence before it. The sentence before it is not about buying and selling something. Do you agree with me? Uchechi, are you with me?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I said, do you agree with me? This sentence that I put in color is not, is it about buying and selling something?
Yes.
Yes. What do you mean? Yes, like how? It may result in conflict if any of the two parties use abusive language, abusive or offensive words. That's not about buying and selling.
Offensive
Do you understand? It's not about buying and selling something.
interaction.
It's just you are talking with somebody and somebody uses an abusive word. So
Okay.
my point is what this sentence here is not really about buying and selling. So I'm going to remove it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to remove it. Or let me do it this way. Let's So look at this now. Secondly, when people travel to other countries where unfamiliar languages are spoken, communication problems can arise between the tourists and their hosts. Okay? Tourists
Okay.
generally buy things within the community that they are exploring. And if they are unable to understand the language of the sellers, issues can result. Or let's not say issues. Let's think about another word. What's it called now?
Com
Give me a word.
communal conflicts.
No,
Something like
communal
that.
conflict. No,
Mm.
communal conflict
No.
is, yeah, it's not tourists. International tourists cannot be involved in communal conflict. Now, communal conflict is people in one town fighting with people in another town.
Okay.
That's communal conflict. This one cannot fit in. Communal conflict cannot fit.
Disagreements.
Okay, thank you. Disagreements can result. Now, this sentence is better. Disagreements can what result. Tourists generally buy things within the community that they are exploring, and if they are unable to understand the language of the sellers, disagreements can result. For instance, if a tourist wants to purchase an item but is unable to communicate with the buyer in a language that they understand, so this thing here, okay, they may feel cheated about the amount of money that is paid. This may result in misunderstanding between the tourist and the word and the seller.
Mm.
Ah, can you see that it fits in now? The sentence before our example is about what? Buying and selling. And then the example that we gave is also about what? Buying and selling.
Dinosaur.
That's what we call what? Cohesion. The
Okay.
sentences in your paragraphs must be what? They must be cohesive. They must be cohesive. Hope you get my point.
Yes, sir.
Now, last paragraph before we round up. In conclusion, international tourism has become widespread, but its impact has been largely negative. Some local businesses have lost lots of revenue because they were not patronized. So let's make sure our tenses are accurate here. In conclusion, international tourism has become widespread. That's past, present perfect, but its impact has been largely negative. Some local businesses lose. Let's return to our present simple tense. Some local businesses lose lots of revenue because they are not patronized by their fellow citizens who choose to travel abroad on holiday. Also, it results in what? Communication problems
Communicate.
between
Mm-hmm.
tourists and the people that they interact with at the store site. Full stop. That's it. That's all for our essay. Okay?
Okay.
The
Yes, sir.
final part, which I usually advise, though this one, there's going to be the temptation. A lot of people don't know how to resist the temptation. The final thing that you should do to really improve yourself, your grammar, is to now carry this, your essay, and go and paste it inside AI and tell AI that what you want AI to identify grammar errors. There are some grammar errors that you might not see. So let me just do that and show you how to do that so that you use AI to do some grammar corrections to your essays. And it's going the way you do it matters a lot so that you can learn. The important thing here is to learn from the AI. I'm going to tell you how to do it, how to type it. So we are going to use two AI. I'm going to use ChatGPT and I'm going to use Gemini. So let's use ChatGPT first. ChatGPT. So this is what you're going to type. I want you to read through my essay and identify 10, just put 10, don't make it too much. 10 grammar or vocabulary errors. Okay? Them, explain the errors and point out the corrections. Do you see what I just wrote now? That's what you type. Okay? I want you to read through my essay and identify how many errors. 10 grammar or vocabulary errors. Explain the errors and point out the what? The correction. So here is the essay. You now put the essay there. Are you following me, Uchechi?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me post my essay now. Post. Okay, so look at it here. The essay, I said the guy, the AI is giving me corrections. Number one, he says that what? I fully agree to this view. He said that what? It should not be, I fully agree to, it should be, I fully agree with. The
With
correct
this
preposition
view.
after
Okay.
agree when referring to an opinion or idea is what? With. Can you see that?
With. Yes, sir.
So that tells me that anytime I'm writing that last, I think that's in the introduction, right? Where's it?
Yes.
Yeah, introduction. You should be, I fully agree with correction taken. So I will go and correct it. Next one, it says, reduces the income generated by many local businesses. Look at what it says. Reduces the income generated for, it says I use the word for, not by. Now he wants to explain. Income is generated for someone, not by them. Do you get that correction?
Yes.
It's a very, very important, it's a very, very important, very, very important preposition error to avoid. Now, let's move on. Number three says what? The funds, number three, the funds that they should have spent patronizing small businesses. Okay, now look at the correction. The funds that they could, that's what they are changing. They could have spent. So instead of writing should, they say it could be what? Could. Look at the correct explanation. Should have spent implies obligation. Obligation means what? The thing is compulsory. But the AI is telling us that no, it's an optional thing. It's a possibility. Yeah, could have spent expresses a missed opportunity, makes it more natural. Okay. Number four,
Yeah.
tourist attraction centers. It says tourist attraction sites. So this one, just ignore this one. This one is about American and British spelling. Okay, so I think
Yes.
um, number four is okay. Okay, hold on. Oh, it says it should be tourist attractions. Look at the correction here. Instead of saying tourist attraction centers, it should be tourist attractions or tourist sites.
Tourist. Mm.
Can you see? Number five, if they are unable to understand the language of the sellers, disagreements can result. So the correction is that word. If they are unable to understand the seller's language, language of the sellers. Can you see? One, two, three, four, five. Five words. It reduces this to what? To three
Three.
words. Can you see? Disagreements may arise. All right, that's a good one. If a tourist wants to purchase an item but is unable to communicate with the buyer, correction. If a tourist wants to purchase an item but is unable to communicate with the seller. Can you imagine? Do you understand this one here? Communicate with the buyer.
Yes.
The tourist is the buyer. He wants to buy something from the seller. So you see correction there. Something that I did not even see when I was this thing I saw it when I was writing. I don't know why I did not correct it. This dash. It should be one word. There's no dash there. It's not a compound word. So the hyphen is not necessary. Number eight, people that they interact with at the tour sites. Okay. People whom. So the word should be whom. Pronoun. People whom they interact with at the tour sites. Number nine, international tourism has become widespread, but its impact has largely been positive. So, in summary, international tourism has become widespread, but its impact has been largely okay. So, it says, in summary, international tourism has become widespread. Okay, so I think it's about this in summary. Or what's the point here? Missing transition signal. Okay, number
Okay.
10, peaceful coexistence. Okay, coexistence does not need hyphen.
No hyphen.
All
Mm.
right. So corrections. Can you see the way I've used ChatGPT to do my correction? Look at what it's asking me now. Should I give Bansko estimates? Let me post it inside Gemini. I also use Gemini sometimes. Gemini.google. Let's see what Gemini will give us. Gemini too can be used to do the correction. So this is our essay I've posted here now. So send. Okay. I have identified. Okay, let's see what he has identified here. Ah, this one is longo. Okay. A big industry. So instead of writing a big industry, it says we should make it this thing. I need to make it bigger. How do I make it bigger now? I want it to be, let me try without canvas. Okay, yeah, this is good. So look at it here now. It says that what? Nevertheless, rather than promotes peaceful coexistence. So logical transitional error. The conjunction nevertheless implies contradiction to a previous statement. However, the first and second sentences present the main claim. Okay, replace nevertheless with transitions like however or
However,
instead.
instead.
Okay. So, however, instead of, so that's what it's telling us here. So you see that this one is bringing out some errors that ChatGPT did not show us. I fully agree to this
Yes.
view. ChatGPT told us this one. He said we should use with this view. Number three, reduces the income generated by many local businesses in different parts of the world. So yeah, it says replace reduces with arms, arms, HARMS. Okay, undermines. So look at the correction. Firstly, international tourism harms the income. This one is sounding somehow. It says reduces a bit weak. Yeah, I prefer reduce actually. This is sounding somehow to me. Number four, the funds they should have spent patronizing small businesses. Okay, ChatGPT brought this one out for us. He said it could be cooled. The funds they could have spent. Yes. Then here we have many newly wedded couples in Nigeria. The common term is newlywed. Okay, newlywed. Newlywed.
Oh, oh,
Okay, that's the new way to write. That's the way to write it. Newlywed. Many newlywed. So many newlywed couples in Nigeria. Okay. All right. Then next one says unfamiliar languages are spoken. Communication problems can arise between these tourists and their hosts. So what's the correction here? Correction, communication problems can arise between tourists and their hosts. So he says we should remove the word THESE,
yes.
okay? Or simply refer to tourists, okay? If a tourist wants to purchase an item but is able to communicate with the buyer, yes, this ChatGPT showed us this one. Is a seller instead of buyer. Feel cheated about the amount of money that is paid, okay? Change it to cheated about the amount of money that they have paid. Okay, about the amount of money that they have paid. Then misunderstanding, yes. Then people whom, that's what we saw. So, correction. So once I do that, it helps you to understand grammar better. And it helps me when I'm writing my next essay. So when I'm even when I'm writing my next essay, after writing, I'll still come and do this same thing. So whenever you want to use ChatGPT to make corrections and learn, this is how you write it. Just say what I want you to read through my essay and do what? Identify 10 grammar or vocabulary errors. So I think I prefer the way ChatGPT wrote it out. This way looks more. Abi, what do you think? Or what do you think, Uchechi?
The chat GPT looks more organized.
Yeah, it looks more organized. It looks easier to. I mean, you can easily pick the error here and go and correct it in your essay
Yes.
and understand better. So these are things that you can do that can help you to improve your writing, the quality of your writing. Okay. I think I will wrap it up on that note. Any question? Uchechi, any question? Does anybody have any question? Let me see. Maybe let's see, we can take one or two questions. So I'm going to give you
Yeah.
guys um I'm going to give you guys another essay question to write. I'll give you more essay questions to write on. I'll give you another essay question.
Okay.
That will be assignment for today. Our next class, we're going to deal with IELTS academic task one writing. That's what we're going to do during our next
Okay.
class. Okay? So,
Okay. So
Uchechi, I hope you have learned something today.
yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your
Thank
day.
you too.